department saying it's already making an impact.
And scammers sending text messages pretending to be the Department of Motor Vehicles. We'll learn about how you can protect yourself.
And we're tracking below average temperatures as we get into later this week. We'll warn that full forecast coming up. NBC Palm Springs at 6 starts right now.
Now, this is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky.
I'm Mark Mester. The California Highway Patrol has a new fleet of vehicles on the road tonight, and they're catching local drivers off guard. That's tonight's top story. These new SUVs are Dodge Durangos. They don't have the markings you typically see on those CHP cruisers. Our Brett Rosen got to see these new vehicles in action. He joins us live in studio tonight with more. Brett?
Mark, CHP added to their fleet these new low-profile Dodge Durangos in hopes of blending in better with the traffic. And during my ride along in this new vehicle, it didn't even take 10 minutes before making a traffic stop.
Why are you going so fast, man? You're gonna kill somebody.
Late to a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, but what if you never make it to that appointment?
California Highway Patrol Officer David Torres says the new low-profile CHP vehicles have been done before. He says the Dodge Durangos were first introduced in May, but the Coachella Valley got their Durango in June. Officer Torres says the low-profile vehicle goes out on patrol every single day. He says the point of the vehicle is to make sure people understand to follow the law at all times, and not just when they see a regular CHP car.
People are in and out of traffic at high rates of speeds, and they're kind of playing a video game with real-life traffic. And so we want to catch those people. Whenever a person sees a black and white patrol vehicle, they modify their behavior. And so with this one, at least they won't be able to tell it's a patrol vehicle until we're really close or they're right next to us and they can see the CHP star on the side of the doors.
Officer Torres says the Dodge Durangos are purposely made to look like they just came from the dealership lot. The paint job is the same, only a matted CHP logo on the side of the car. People can only tell it's law enforcement when looking at the license plate or if they are side by side with the vehicle. And sometimes that's already too late.
Yeah, so the whole point of this car is to look like a normal vehicle. Watch the chicken. He doesn't even know until now. Boom. He was kind of super fast. So I don't know if you saw it, but he was zooming through the normal lane and he didn't hit the brakes until he saw the CHP on the side.
Where California Highway Patrol hopes this will create a sense of peace and safety on the road, some locals say this could create a feeling of anxiety.
I think it's like safer in the idea of it for sure, but it's just more like, again, just wanting to distinct a lot of who is and who isn't, you know?
There's already a kind of a climate of distrust with law enforcement right now, so it feels a little deceptive, and people may feel strange about pulling over for a car that's not clearly marked as a law enforcement car.
Now, Mark and Olivia, on my ride along with Officer Torres, a total of 2 vehicles were pulled over. One for speeding and the other for being on their cell phone, both saying to Torres, "I didn't see you." Live in studio, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
Brett, thank you. We've got a live look tonight now from our Agua Caliente casino camera downtown Palm Springs this evening. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And we're tracking a little bit of relief here in the Coachella Valley, which is great because, you know, last week was starting to get to the point where you needed to be in the pool every single day.
Yeah, like you just couldn't get out. You had to just get a bed in the
Stay in,
right.
get a drink, get some snacks.
Get right back in the pool.
It's a tough life.
Yeah, it's rough out here in the desert, you know, just being at the poolside all day long. But yes, very hot week. 1 teens for most of last week. I talked about it a couple weeks before that. I'm like, prepare yourself. And we made it. We made it through. So congratulations. And like Olivia said, much cooler conditions this week. It's still hot here, so don't get me wrong. We're still above triple digits here in the desert, but seasonal for this time of year. So we got through the 1 teens last week. We're good. 107 right now in downtown Palm Springs at the airport. Those winds from the southeast direction, not a concern for us at this hour. Breezy there and in downtown Palm Springs. Across the region, onshore flow for the wind corridor there, the San Antonio Pass. Teens for them as well. So something to keep in mind as we get into our Tuesday. We do expect those winds to pick up a little bit. So they're not going to get to the wind advisory threshold, so good news there. But worth noting, those of you that are on the east side of the 10,000 Palms Desert Hot Springs, those wind-prone areas, it is going to be picking up a little bit. So what's happening as we get into this week with that ridge of high pressure that brought those hot conditions, it's going to start to back off as we get into this week. So temperatures will back off as well. Although we do have this high pressure that will be over Arizona later on this week, it's going to draw up some moisture from Mexico. So we're talking about that monsoonal moisture. So while temperatures are slightly cooler than last week. We have those humidity numbers also rising. So gonna feel a little bit muggy out there as we get into the second half of our work week. As I mentioned for our Tuesday, gusty winds as we get into the afternoon and evening hours for those wind-prone areas. So let's take a look at that comfort air. 3-day forecast will stay seasonal for our Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday dipping below average. Chance of rain and thunderstorms for Southern California as we get into our Thursday and Friday with that monsoon moisture. We'll break down more you can expect for later this week and that full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Chloe. A local alert this evening. Former NFL quarterback John Elway will not be charged in the death of his friend and business partner Jeffrey Spurbeck that happened here in the Coachella Valley. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco telling Denver's 9 News on Friday they spoke with everyone involved. They found nothing new in their investigation or anything criminal, saying it was, quote, simply a tragic accident. Spurbeck was 62 years old. He suffered a traumatic head injury. This was April 28th at the Madison Club in La Quinta when he hit his head on the pavement after falling from the golf cart. The Riverside County Coroner's Office saying he died from blunt head trauma. Elway was driving the golf cart. He was questioned by sheriff's deputies but not arrested.
We have an update tonight on that I-10 collision that happened near Cathedral City last Thursday. Authorities identified the 2 people who died in that crash. Over the weekend, we learned the family of one of those victims, Francisco Leon, out of Desert Hot Springs, shared their GoFundMe account with us. According to the description on the fundraising site, Leon is survived by his wife and 3 daughters. He was the sole provider for the family through his job at a local nursery. They're asking for your support tonight during this very difficult time. You can find that GoFundMe on our website.
The city of Indio is going to have a blast from the past this week. City Hall hosting a time capsule ceremony on Wednesday. They're unsealing the capsule that's been buried all the way since 2005. City officials saying it's a moment to reflect on how far Indio has come over the last 2 decades. And they'll also seal a new capsule that will be buried for the next 50 years. If you'd like to participate in this event, you can submit photos embodying the city today through July 18th. Details are available on the website right there at the bottom of your screen if you'd like to take part.
Cathedral City is reducing the speed limit on more than 10 streets. It starts next week. It's a move the city says will improve safety on the roads. It takes effect July 25th. We've got the following areas to tell you about. One is Dade Palm Drive from Vista Chino to 30th Avenue. That's going to change from 55 to 50 miles per hour. Palm Drive from the 10 to Varner Road is going to change from 60 to 55 miles per hour. And then Ramon Road from Dade Palm Drive to Newman Drive, that's going to change from 50 to 45 miles an hour. We've got more of the changes that are about to take effect. It's on our website. That's NBCPalmSprings.com.
And Cathedral City is also looking to get recognized for its significance to California culture. The city's Historical Preservation Board is seeking a cultural designation for their district from the state. According to staff reports, that designation comes with a $10,000 grant, which could be used for a few projects, including pedestrian bridges and a community scavenger hunt. Their application is due to the state by August 7th.
The Palm Springs International Airport has announced a new nonstop service. United Airlines is going to be offering flights directly from Palm Springs to Newark, New Jersey. Starts December 18th of this year. Marks the first time in over 5 years the airline has regularly flown this route. Scam texts posing as messages from the Department of Motor Vehicles are hitting phones across the valley. They're trying to trick people into giving up their personal information.
NBC Palm Springs' Caitlin Kelly explains how you can spot a scam.
Scam alert. People are getting fake text messages and seeing social media ads with links that pretend to be from the DMV asking them to take action.
If you've gotten a text from the DMV lately, pump the brakes. It could be a scam, speeding straight for your personal info.
Oh yes, I got a scam text message also telling you to the DMV needs money for something you owe for, which you don't. It's just an obvious scam.
Cathedral City resident Locke Reese has seen these scam texts roll in like clockwork, but he's not falling for it.
Well, partly the number +63 907 that tells you it's out of country. It's saying that you owe money for a past due ticket, and I don't owe any money for a past due ticket. So,
according to the California DMV website, the DMV will never ask for personal or financial information by text. So if you get one, Don't open it or reply. Stay alert and protect your information.
That was Caitlin Kelly reporting tonight. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the economic uncertainty stalling the housing market.
But before that, we want to show you your gold and silver prices. You're watching NBC Palm Springs on this Monday night. We'll be right back after this break.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs.
5 years since the pandemic home buying boom, the mood amongst Americans looking to make a big move seems to be declining. Karen Kaifa has what potential home buyers and sellers need to know right now.
Interest rates have pushed mortgage rates higher while home prices continue to climb in many parts of the country, leaving the housing market in a sticky situation.
The housing market's in a really unusual place right now. It's a strange combination of record high home prices and then very low home sales. And all of that's a hangover from the pandemic.
Bankrate housing market analyst Jeff Ostrowski says their research indicates more homeowners are hesitant to make a move.
The idea being they don't want to sell at a mortgage rate above 6% because that means they're going to have to go out and finance their next place at more than 6%.
Zillow senior economist Orphe Divinki says overall economic uncertainty is rattling the market too.
Remember, when people are uncertain about the future, their future income prospects, well, they tend to sit on their wallets.
And affordability is improving according to Zillow's data, but remains stretched.
The increase in prices, the increase in mortgage rates in the past few years really means that the typical buyer today really needs a lot more to be able to get into the house.
That means first-time buyers may have to make some trade-offs.
Maybe it's a townhouse, maybe it's a fixer-upper, maybe it's a place in a neighborhood that's not your first choice. But definitely this housing market has forced first-time buyers to make compromises.
And while potential home buyers may be nostalgic for the low mortgage rates of the pandemic era, Ostrowski says they're unlikely to return anytime soon. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Some news around the region this evening. One of the main ports in Southern California, the Port of Long Beach, is marking 20 years of its green port policy. The port has worked to improve the movement of goods with an emphasis on being environmentally conscious. The port's CEO spoke about the importance of their zero emissions goals in the future.
With the progress that we have made here in Long Beach by reducing emissions, moving forward with technology that aims to be zero emission one day, we're going to have an impact in the supply chain. That is not only in terms of zero emission trucks that are going to be operating here at the Port of Long Beach, but also in the corridors, whether it's up the 99 through the Coachella Valley and other sections of the state and regions, whether it's in the Imperial Valley. I think we've been leaders in terms of really moving forward the technology of zero emission trucks.
The CEO there says the port still has a long ways to go, but it looks to help implement changes by achieving zero emissions trucks by the year 2035.
New at 6 o'clock tonight, farm workers are prepared to walk off the job this week in a planned strike. They're calling this a direct response to the president's immigration policies and operations.
Dozens of farm workers and activists gathering in Los Angeles today to make a national calling. Our reporter Antonio Marquez has the latest.
That's right, the day-to-day situation that farmers live in, not only in the valley, but throughout the country, is affecting their work and well-being every day, which is why a drastic change is proposed. Dozens of farm workers, community members, and human rights advocates gathered today to address the fear, anxiety, and uncertainty that millions of farm worker families are facing amid immigration operations throughout the entire state of California. A press conference in La Placita Olvera in LA turned into a nationwide call for farm workers to take extreme action, go on strike.
As companies invest in automation, we are told that our farm workers, that a lot of our workers in this country are replaceable after generations of loyalty and sacrifice.
Flor Martinez Zaragoza led the event called Strike for Dignity, a farm worker-led labor action demanding a real pathway to citizenship, an end to ICE raids and deportations, and permanent protections for the millions of people living in the U.S.
I'm here today in solidarity with farm workers across the nation who are calling for what should never have to be demanded: dignity, protection, and a pathway to citizenship. When people hear the word farm worker, they often think of the food on their table. While that is true, it is only part of the picture.
Now they threaten to strike from July 16th through July 18th as a means to make their voices heard and boycott large companies that have publicly supported the Trump administration. Other local organizations had no comment on the press conference that took place today. Antonio Marquez, NBC Palm Springs.
Our thanks to Antonio for that. We have a live look outside our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera halfway through July. Temperatures starting to feel pretty normal for our summer. Chloe Carlson's in next. She's tracking your 7-day forecast, so stay with us.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more.
And happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back. Right now, we're taking a live look at the Walter Clark Highway 11 cam in Rancho Mirage. Pretty clear day out there today. Maybe a little bit of haze there in the background. Other than that, Rancho Mirage, calm conditions at this hour. Seasonal for this time of year across the Coachella Valley. 109 for the high today. 108 is normal for us as we get into halfway through July. Can you believe that? So we'll say right around seasonal, which is a nice break after last week when we got close to those record-breaking numbers. 119 was the record-breaking number from 2003. At this hour, still 106 in downtown Palm Springs. On the other side of the 10 there, 101 in Desert Hot Springs, 94 for Yucca Valley. Overnight tonight will be in the high 70s, low 80s here on the desert floor. And just for fun, we'll shout out Big Bear overnight for them. 49 degrees for Jackie, Shadow, Gizmo, and Sunny. Hopefully they are just flying high up there. As far as future wind potential, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show. As we get into our Tuesday afternoon and evening hours, for those wind-prone areas, those winds will be picking up. So if you are commuting this direction for Desert Hot Springs along Palm Drive there, keep that in mind. It's going to be gusty there, as well as the wind corridor. So the San Antonio passes sustained winds 30 miles per hour. So those gusts will be in the 40s, and for some isolated areas, 15 mile per hour wind. So that's for our Tuesday, more breezy for the rest of the week. After that, dew points, relative humidity, much different than what we normally see here in the desert, right? We're very dry most of the time. 5% for the relative humidity. Numbers jumping up a little bit this week with that monsoonal moisture that we were talking about. So if we take a look at this surface map, we have that ridge of high pressure center that'll be to the east of us. But we get those winds from the southeast direction, so it draws up that monsoonal flow Wednesday into Thursday, and it'll kind of linger into the weekend. As far as Thursday, yeah, some chances of rain and thunderstorms more likely on Friday, but these are those Thursday chances for us here closer to home. Yeah, sprinkles, if anything. We're not tracking a lot of moisture here, but worth mentioning, could see a little bit cooler conditions. 104 for the high on Thursday. Here's a look at your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. So seasonal Tuesday, again, we get a little bit humid as we get into the late in the week. Chance of rain Thursday and Friday. Back to seasonal conditions by Sunday.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
The NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk with Tim O'Brien. Brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Welcome back. A group of all-stars in Palm Desert will remember this summer far more for what happened off the field than what they've accomplished and experienced on the field. Our intern, Lane 40, shares their story.
Go! Get the down! There we go!
In the desert, where summer never really stops, a group of 12-year-old boys is making history. The Palm Desert All-Star Baseball team is the first local squad to ever reach Pony Regionals. They didn't do it with year-round travel or elite training. They did it by playing everything.
Palm Desert, the talent level in the Palm Desert rec system is equivalent to a lot of these travel teams out there. These are multi-sport kids, right? They don't focus on just baseball all year round like you would on a travel team.
Their coach says that's the point. He doesn't want them to specialize. Not yet.
I don't want him to focus on baseball yet. I want him to play everything. And same thing with everybody else, right? They're getting a broader perspective of sports.
A roster full of kids who hoop, play soccer, or strap on football pads and bring all that back to the diamond.
Yeah, I'm a goalkeeper for La Quinta Select. Understanding of other sports.
That mix of skill sets makes them dynamic, but it's their chemistry that makes them even more dangerous.
Together, we all know each other like that whole family right now.
That showed up in a game they didn't even win. Down big, most teams would have quit. This team didn't.
I remember we were losing by like 10 runs maybe. We made a really good comeback. Didn't win, but I think we scored like 9 runs in the last inning.
That loss didn't go in the win column, but it stuck with them, and exactly what their coach wants them to take away from the game.
Baseball teaches you how to lose. If you do your job 30% of the time, you're an all-star.
Learning how to lose might be the reason they're winning.
I think that's kind of when I realized that this team has really good potential.
Now, that potential is real, and the goal, it's simple.
Crazy. I mean, I feel like being the best team and going around and going all the way better than anybody else, that would be special.
A regional run built on backyard games, rec ball, and the love for all sports. The Palm Desert All-Stars are proving you don't have to specialize to be something special. For NBC Palm Springs, I'm Lane 40.
Well, the squad went 1-1 over the weekend and eventually lost in the quarterfinals to Murrieta, ending their dream summer run. Well, that'll do it in sports. I'm Tim O'Brien.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
All right, don't forget the new morning show social media challenge, Dish Detective, is live right now. You have until Thursday at noon. That's to guess the mysterious restaurant. Find our social media pages, specifically Instagram, by going to NBCPalmSprings.com or just search NBC Palm Springs on Instagram. And if you'd like more information on the stories aired in tonight's broadcast, go to our website. That's NBCPalmSprings.com. That's where you can find our top stories, breaking news. And if you click on our newsroom tab, you'll find upcoming stories and events organized by date. We'll be right back.
Brighter Side of the News is brought to you by Fiesta Kia. Discover the all-new Fiesta Kia located in the I-10 Auto Mall.
Mattel is releasing a new line of Barbies, and there they are on your screen. They are the Clueless cast. They're, of course, a group of total Betties. It's in honor of the 30th anniversary of the movie Clueless. The toy maker has designed both a Cher and a Dion Barbie. Two besties sport their classic ensembles from the hit 90s classic, along with their cell phones, and of course, a learner's permit for Cher. The Barbies are available for pre-order at major retailers for just around $60. Are these the new like vintage Barbies? I feel old that we're doing Clueless ones already.
Are they doing like lifestyle outfits for those? Because we can match the.
You guys want to match your Barbie?
Yeah, right?
Okay.
They're going to crush. You know they're going to sell it like that.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We're back here tonight for the news at 11. Please join us for that. Meantime, we'll send things over to Fred Rogan tonight. He's got the latest with the Rogan Report. Hey, Fred.
Hey, Mark. The Rogan Report is presented by The Living Desert.
Ever been to the best bookstore in Palm Springs? They may want to consider making it clothing optional, because if you wear any clothing in there, you might suffer from heat exhaustion. 96 degrees, crispy. Why? We'll try to provide some answers. Welcome to the start of a new week. Thanks to Tim for sitting in. It is hot. We're in the middle of summer. And are you sad? Did you know that summertime sadness is very real? Bright days and sweltering heat trigger anxiety, loneliness, and even depression. People worry they're missing out, feel pressured by summer images, or stress that fun will vanish before it really begins. It's a fact hotter temps nudge up stress hormones, can disrupt sleep, and are actually linked to higher suicide rates. Summer sad is the lesser-known counterpart to winter blues. It's rooted in biology and real-world effects. Contributors on the show tonight, Stephanie Green, Sue Abramowitz. Steph, have you ever felt down when everyone else thinks summer should be a blast? And if so, what do you think causes that disconnect?
Absolutely not. Summer has always been my favorite time of year from when we were kids and we got the summer off. And I spent that with my friends. And I honestly think a lot of this is, you can be sad any time of the year and any month of the year, and they just come up with a name and a logo for it, and all of a sudden we have to worry about it. I think social media is to blame, and I think people need to get up off the couch, get outside, and find something fun to do. Sue, don't you agree?
Well, seasonal affective disorder is real, unfortunately. But I think what people have to realize is that if they are feeling this sad, then one of the things they need to do is get help. And it's not hard, really, to get help. But one of the things that attaches to seasonal affective disorder, it's called dysthymia. And the majority, if you have seasonal affective disorder, you also may be diagnosed with dysthymia, which is a low-grade depression. You're never, ever super happy, but you're never, ever super sad. And so when summer comes around, it's hot and you're sweating and you just think you can't get anything done. That could be part of the whole process. So I think what you said is absolutely important. And I also think people need to realize that if this lasts more than 2 weeks, you need to go get some help. Talk to your doctor.
Okay, so what would be the way to help folks who dread the summer, Sue?
One of the things would be get off your butt, get out of the house, walk, exercise, swim, and make yourself available to others. Help out.
All right.
Or go visit your family.
Now, we know that we live in a tourist location, and one of the things we've used, too, is a massive amount of vacation rentals in the non-Coachella Valley cities. Have you asked yourself how welcoming these rentals really are? It seems vacation rental stays are turning into full-blown sitcoms. Tenants report aggressive instructions, locks that don't open, ghostly or raccoon-packed attics, and hosts randomly serenading them with long guitar solos. What was once a cozy human touch experience has now soured into side hustle horror shows, where your Airbnb might feel less home and more inconvenient packed surprises. These glitches serve as a reminder that the convenience of short-term rentals comes with a gamble. Will you get thoughtful notes or draconian-like instructions? Hosts and platforms are under pressure to step up quality in communication or risk losing a trusting travel crowd. Stephanie, would you rather keep using vacation rentals knowing they can go hilariously or horrifying wrong, or is a hotel the way to go?
Well, I am a vacation rental owner, and I would say that the sites I'm on held me to a very high standard, and I am rated, and if I don't have more than a 4.5 star rating, I get kicked to the curb. So if people are renting off of weird sites that don't hold the people accountable, then yeah, I think you're better off in a hotel. But if you rent through the big three sites, I've never heard any of these stories, and you certainly don't get that at mine, but I do believe they're happening. So I'm sort of split on this one.
Sue?
We've had good luck, and it's been a wonderful experience. I did have a friend that rented a home, and she said they walked in, walked around, and left because it was filled with bugs and it stunk. So, you know, it can happen. My husband likes hotels just because he's picky. And, you know, I'm old. What can I say? I'd rather be in a hotel.
Should platforms like Airbnb have stricter vetting for hosts, or do they just need better reviews and accountability? Stephanie, what do you think?
They do strict vetting. Trust me, that's who I'm listed with, and I get notices all the time. Definitely, if you do stay in one, post a fair review. Post exactly what happened. Don't lie, as I've had happen to me. You know, be honest, because then the host gets to rate you as well. And read the reviews. You know, read them. Throw out the 1 stars. Those are just disenfranchised people. And read the 3 and 4 and 5 stars and try to get a better picture before you click the rent button.
All right. Now, here is something that caught our eye over the weekend. Have you been to the Tap House in Indio? Opened about a year and a half ago. It's been successful from day one, and now it's up for sale. This is a Skip Page project along with a partner. Skip, of course, owns Little Bar in Palm Desert. Tap House was quickly becoming the go-to spot in Indio. Good food, good drinks, trivia, and I'm told made money. That's why it's surprising it's up for sale. Here's the reason I was told. Nothing controversial, nothing scandalous. Simply put, Skip got this up and running. It's profitable, so he is ready for his next challenge. The Tap House is on the market for $2.5 million. Tim talked on Friday about AI that could predict what humans would do in many situations with frightening accuracy. If that's not scary enough, listen to this. Have you heard about these things called deep fakes? Here's what happens. AI generates something that is so realistic, we can't tell if it's fake. You may remember when an AI-generated voice sounded like former President Biden and was used in May of 2024 to discourage Democrats from voting on the eve of the New Hampshire primary.
From the world of AI.
Now that same technology is being used to generate nudes and sexually explicit material. A new investigation uncovered just how nasty and profitable the AI nudify business has become. 85 websites, 18.5 million monthly visitors, $36 million in annual revenue, all offering non-consensual fake nudes of people, including minors. It's not the dark web. You can find these sites on mainstream platforms, and they are not doing much about them. Legal action is just starting, called it the Takedown Act. That was signed into a law in May. Criminalizes the publication of non-consensual intimate imagery, including AI-generated deep fakes. But we all know once it's on the internet, it never really goes away, and the damage to the victims is done. Revenue models will only grow. Stephanie, tech giants, should they be held accountable for hosting the infrastructure behind these?
Absolutely. AI is an onion, and every layer gets scarier and more awful. And they have these algorithms that can hunt me down if I post content they don't like. So they certainly can program algorithms to hunt down these sites and instantly ban them from their browser. And if they're not doing that, then they're making money. And if you follow the money trail, it usually leads to the problem. And I am on the side of get rid of all that. Pornography's been outlawed. This should be outlawed, and it should not be available.
Sue, do you agree?
I absolutely agree with Stephanie. The other thing, too, is that I was reading the Florida Institute for Cybersecurity Research has done a lot about this, and this has become a new category for sexual abuse. And Meta is taking legal action against the AI apps that do this. And like you said, we passed that law earlier in May. But now Congress is doing a lot more investigation on it. But they have a new acronym called SNEAKY, and it highlights secretive and deceptive nature of this practice. And so there's a lot more to be done. It's scary.
You think tech crackdowns? You think tech crackdowns will realistically outpace the chaos of the AI-fueled abuse, or will bad actors always stay one step ahead? 10 seconds for each of you. Go.
Yeah, I think that AI needs to jump on top of it. And yes, I think the bad guys are always 10 steps ahead.
All right, Sue, go.
I agree with Stephanie. It's so fast that it's hard to keep up.
Okay.
I agree.
Pretty easy not to do something sleazy. And if that's the way you live your life, you're being a good neighbor. Webb in Palm Desert wants to give a shout out to Foxy's. Dinner there last night, whole experience top notch. Stephanie, Cathedral City, needs a recommendation for air duct cleaning companies, reasonably priced. Her quotes are about $600. Looking for something a little more wallet friendly. Sam in La Quinta is looking for a barber that can go to nursing home in Cathedral City to give a resident a beard and a head shave. Jim in Palm Desert needs some help finding a good security camera that doesn't need to be plugged in and runs on Wi-Fi.
If this show puts you to sleep, sweet dreams. If you're awake, tell us what you think. Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fred Rogan. You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
Want to live to be 100? Well, it turns out being active isn't just good for your mood, might save your life. A global meta-analysis found that consistent physical activity throughout adulthood cuts the risk of early death rate by up to 40%. Even folks who only get moving later in life still see a 20 to 25% reduction in mortality risk. Exercise, like brisk walking, look at those two happy people right there. Gardening, or even doing house chores counts toward longevity goals and aligns with the World Health Organization's recommendations for weekly activity. Okay. Sue, would you rethink your exercise habits knowing it could add decades to your life?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm already doing it. So I plan to live to be at least 95 so I can see my last grandson turn 20. So I'm doing everything I can. Walking, jazzercise, you name it. Eating better, trying to lose weight. That hasn't happened yet, but you never know. Stephanie, what's up with you?
Well, I don't think this is news. I mean, my entire life I've heard this, that you have to stay active to enjoy your later years. You have to have good balance and eat right to live longer. So I found this to be rather a repetitive article, but it's true, and more people should be doing it. And if we need these reminders every couple of years, then I say bring it on. But yes, stay active, eat right, lose weight.
If simple routines, let's say gardening, walking, count toward lifespan gains, should those be rebranded, those daily chores, as wellness, Stephanie?
Why do they have to be rebranded? I don't need a fancy name. Just get up off the couch and get your acting gear and get out there and do it. I mean, the walk 10,000 steps, your watch tells you to do it. Your watch says stand up. You know, a new thing I'm doing is 10 deep knee bends every time I stand up once an hour. And, you know, there's just so many things you can do, and it's not hidden away. It's right in front of your face.
I just want to say this. Because I do check my steps on my watch, right? And you're supposed to walk 10,000 steps a day, which I've done 3 times in my life. But I am telling you that watch, with all due respect, is not always accurate. Because every night when I go to sleep, this is how I base the mood of my morning. I check the Pillow app because I know how many hours I need to sleep. And if I sleep that many hours psychologically, I think, I've done it. I'm good to go. I got up this morning and it said I slept 2 hours and 50 minutes. Now, I know I didn't sleep 2 hours and 50 minutes. I know that. But do you want to know something? My entire day was ruined because the Pillow app told me I slept 2 hours and 50 minutes. And I know it's not true. So
You need a new watch.
What?
Yeah.
What? But that being said, if that's the truth, then how can I trust the phone or the watch to tell me I walked 10,000 steps? Stephanie.
I find it to be fairly accurate, and I use it every day.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I don't know why you had to be such a buzzkill to my story, Stephanie. The point...
That's my job, Fred. That's my job.
You know what, Fred? I was going to say we missed you last week, but I'm not sure right now.
You know, it's so funny. We become so enamored with technology, honestly. And I check my watch and I check my phone, and I promise you, if something is off, it affects my mood and it affects my day. And I know it's wrong. I know it, but I can't avoid it. So I need therapy. That's all there is to it.
So say your rosaries in the morning, Fred. That'll help.
All right. Okay. Chloe's had a couple of days off to recover from the heat. Let's see what's new now in super weather.
Fred, everyone at home, I got something to tell you. Come in close. It's still hot out there.
And the best bookstore in Palm Springs is now also the hottest.
Riddle me this. What runs around the yard without moving?
If you're driving down downtown Palm Springs, through downtown Palm Springs, head it down Tahquitz Canyon, and you'll find a bookstore. It's called the best bookstore in Palm Springs. It has a loyal customer base and charm to spare. But for the past couple of weeks, it also has had an air conditioning issue, making it almost unbearable inside. Why has not this been fixed? According to shop owner Paul Carr, the landlord is refusing to fix the problem. And Paul joins us now. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so I've heard of hot yoga, where you go in and it's really hot and you go through it. I've never heard of hot reading, but apparently that's what you're up against, right?
Yes, it is hot book summer at the best bookstore in Palm Springs. Unfortunately, unintentionally, we don't know how or who, but somebody went on our roof of our bookstore and damaged our air conditioning unit. That was bad enough, but now our landlord has unfortunately said that they will not replace it, at their cost. They've said that if we want it replaced, we're going to have to write a check for that, and we can't. We're an independent bookstore, and the lease is very clear that they're the ones supposed to be doing this. So Right now we're boiling.
All right. So one day you walk in and it's awfully hot in there, and you check the thermometer. It's like 92 degrees, 96 degrees. It's hot.
It's getting higher. Yeah, it was exact 4th of July, not just any day. 4th of July. Busy day in the store, and it's getting hot in here. What's going on? 88, 89, 90. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so then you send somebody up to check the air conditioning unit, and they go, I have to be honest with you. This thing has been damaged. Something happened here, and it's not going to work. We don't know what happened, but now the whole thing's fried, and the air conditioning's not going to work. You call the management company and say, okay, look, we got a problem here. It's 96 degrees in the bookstore. Little hot. We need the air conditioning corrected. And they said to you, you do it?
That's exactly right. The professionals, we got a heating and air company to come out. They went on the roof and they came down and they said, has someone been on your roof? Not that I know of. The only people who have access would be the other tenants and landlords. And they said, well, it has blown out. The unit's blown completely. There's no fixing it. And it's also been physically disconnected, like ripped out. That doesn't happen by accident. Something has happened. Exactly that. Then we call the management company, who, by the way, we have an office space in a separate building behind where the air conditioning went out not long after we moved in. They replaced the unit there. So we know not only what the lease says, they have previously on a different space themselves replaced the unit when this happened. There is precedent here. But in this instance, for the store in the height of summer in Palm Springs, they said, no, not doing it. It's on you. The landlord won't do it. The landlord may consider contributing some small amount, some amount towards it when you get it done. You get it done at your cost, and maybe the landlord will throw you a few bucks. But
that's not the way things work.
That's not the way things work.
They run the building.
And it's not the way things have worked previously. It's not even a debate. They literally have replaced an air conditioning unit in a separate building when it's not deliberate damage, but when it just went out. This is a 20-year-old air conditioning unit. It breaks, that happens. But as the building owner, this is like part of the structure of the building. If you have to replace it, they replace it. And I don't know why. I can't speculate why. But they are adamant. The landlord has said they are not going to replace this air conditioning unit at their expense. So we can either boil, or we can leave, or we can pay to get it done at our own expense, and they may throw us a few bucks in reimbursement to contribute towards it. But they will not pay for it. They will not replace it. It's on us.
And you've made your appeals to the management company, and I've emailed
them, and I said this past Friday. So today's Monday. On the past Friday, I said to them in the morning, I said, by end of day, I need you to tell me where in our lease it says that we are responsible for that. And they sent us this clause that says, we're responsible for the interior of the building, but the air conditioning unit is on the roof, and is not. And they, and they sent that, and I said, no, that doesn't say anything about the roof. It doesn't say anything about. And they said, and there's a thing that says, we have to get somebody to come out every 6 months and check that the air conditioning is working, which we have done every 6 months as required. I said, there's nothing in the lease about replacing this. Show me where it is. Show me by end of day where it is. They ghosted us. Not a word. We haven't heard a word since. So I know other folks have been calling. We've been calling. Not a word. They've just ghosted us.
Okay, Paul. Well, I would say when we get off the air tonight, by tomorrow morning, you'll hear a word or two.
I believe you. If anyone can solve this, I know it's you. So I very much appreciate your attention to this. It means a great deal.
Yeah, we're on it. Keep us posted, and let's see what happens. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you very much.
So that property is managed by Lyle Commercial Property in Rancho Mirage. Called them this afternoon. He said they'd get back to us. Your daily dose of cuteness when we return.
The Rogan Report was presented by the Living Desert Zoo and Gardens.
We love it when you contribute, but please make it a note, not a novel.
Oh, and no, I can't pay your water bill. Find Fred on Facebook and Instagram at Fred Rogan or email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
What runs around the yard without moving? A fence, of course.
All right, we work 24/7. Check out the website. Our content from tonight's program will be up there, and content from our past shows as well. Thanks for watching. Have a pleasant evening. Wheel of Fortune's next.